Okay, we're going to start with Parshat Shemos. I always start with Parshat Shemos. First of all, I always say Rav Tzaddok. I don't know if people remember from last year, I don't know exactly, but this is just such a powerful, important Tzaddok. I cannot hold back from saying it every time on the Shemos, which is that, all these Parshas, you have Yetzias Mitzrayim, you're supposed to say several times a day, twice a day, maybe the Raisa twice a day, like it's very serious. Everything you do is Yechezkel, Mitzrayim, Shabbos, like Sukkah, whatever it is, it's got a Shach Yetzias Mitzrayim. Yom Tiv, there's Tefillin, like it's Tzitzis, everything Yetzias Mitzrayim. He's like, it's a lot to remember. So on a simple level, like the Rizal says, all the geulah sin, every exile had to do with Mitzrayim, because that was the ultimate paradigm of a geulah, right? That was exile. That was the ultimate example of exile. That was the source of the exile, and we made it through. We took all the sparks out. There's a lot of discussion. You could say the whole Torah about it. But Rav Tzaddok says, he said the main thrust of all of this remembering Mitzrayim is that they were in the 49th level of Tumah. They were in the furthest place in the world. It was virtually impossible for them to leave, and Hashem did not give up on them. He took them out exactly on time so that they could make it. He said the idea is do not ever despair, no matter what we go through, no matter where the Jewish people is. You can never, ever, ever give up, because there's always a way out. There's always a way to handle it. Of course, Rav Nachman's very into this. Tzaddik very often is flavored by Rav Nachman and Rav Nassim. So this is very strong. This is a very beautiful idea. And that's the Zohar. The very beginning of the Zohar also I like to bring, which is the idea of Yechezkel got a nevuah in chutz, which was, generally speaking, they didn't even believe him. Like, believe me, you have a nevuah in chutz. Generally speaking, nevuah is only in there, which is sure. How do you have a nevuah in chutz? But Hashem sent the nevuah in chutz, and he was Maharal, all these incredible, right, to recover this very high levels. So Zohar is like, just because Yechezkel got this big illumination, why is he telling everything? Like, usually you have a sod, you don't speak about the sod. Here we are, we're in the Mashiach, you can talk about sodas anyway, nobody hears, and nobody, if people are still so in darkness, it's like, wow, there's a lot of, you need a blowtorch to get through the darkness we have. It's like unbelievable. You really, I don't know what you need, you need a drill, I don't know what to, hydraulic drill, like to break through all this heart, the who knows what's on every person's heart. It's so completely difficult to move. Like, you're not like this giant boulder, like that's your heart. It's like so hard to move it and to get things happening. So fine. So wherever our matziv is, but generally speaking, it wasn't so pashut in the time of Yechezkel to go talking to people. I saw them recover. Like, you don't have to tell people. So he said no. That the Zohar says the whole point was people gave up. They said, Hashem doesn't care about us anymore. He sends to God. It's like, no. It says, like, I'll give you the biggest errors. It's off. It's all tikkunim. It's not stam. Don't ever give up. Like, it's the same thing with Mitzrayim. So I think it's a little mashmi even the Zohar. Like, it's only fine, but we were there, but we're there for a reason. We're taken out for a reason. There's no such thing as the Jewish people being, you're just stuck there. The Maharal is bringing this beautiful Maharal. The Maharal says about that the Jewish people, they never were really an am. You could have called us an am. Maybe a lot of people in Mitzrayim could be, but we never. That's what it sounds like, right? We left quite a few. But he said an am has to have their own country, their own place, at least their own part of a country, something. We were this family. Then we were sort of living at the, intolerance of the Egyptians, and then suddenly we were their slaves. It's like, there was no Jewish nation. There was no. He said we leave Egypt miraculously to get the Torah. He said so. Our entire character, our entire selves, is only to be Am Hashem and to get the Torah. So that means you can't go back, because there is nowhere to go back to. There was no situation. So, just go back to me. You know what I mean? You became the chosen nation, then you go back to whatever you were before. We were nothing before. That's what the Maharal says. So there's no. That's why Kiswal Karen Shoshenachem Chelik B'Kei Yisrael, like the Yevanim did, right on the horn of the ox. You have no portion in the God of Israel. So the ox, of course, was supposed to intimate the Egel Azov. You did the Egel. Goodbye, good luck. You messed up. You blew it. You absolutely ruined everything. So the Maharal says that's impossible, because you don't go back. They're like, go back to what you were, but we weren't anything. He said, so there's no such thing. That was the way it was supposed to be. Fine, whatever it was failure. And Chazal say every single generation is suffering. Everything that happens suffering has to do with that. That was a very unfortunate watershed moment for us, a very difficult moment for us, and we're still suffering for it. Yes, that's true, but you cannot. There's no such thing as absolutely nullifying the Jewish people. It doesn't exist. What
was the answer to the question? So why could he say the sod?
So why could he say the sod? He said the sod to encourage Jewish people and show them that God was with them, even in the exile. Mm-hmm. Even though we were thrown out of Eretz Yisrael, we were in Bavel, we were, we're like, okay, he gave up on us. He doesn't care about us. Like, no, didn't give up on us. He cares about us. He's here with us. The Merkava is here with us. all these high levels, they're here with us. The Shekhinah is here with us. That was exactly it. And thank you for, I have to clarify, that's Hashem. Okay, so that's, that's the first thing. So I guess we'll start with Komarna, I guess, because it's shorter. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, they say to me, what's his name? What will I say to them? Right? What do I say to them? Hashem said, you say Ehekeh Asher Ehekeh. Okay, so what does this mean, Ehekeh Asher Ehekeh? I will be what I will be. So first of all, I want to bring the MIdrash to Maharal brought, which is very, very beautiful, which is that Ehekeh Asher Ehekeh means, in accordance with how you act, that's how Hashem acts. I will be how I will be. If you want to be closer, you'll feel my closeness. If you don't, well, it's your choice. That's the Ramban, bring the MIdrash. That's number one. Number two, you're going to see a lot about Ehekeh Asher Ehekeh. When we talk about the Kavanas beish Hashem and Shabbos, we're going to see a little bit about, there's going to be a little more in depth about this name. That's another reason why it's good to start now. But generally speaking, when we're not going to talk about Ehekeh Asher Ehekeh, it's the inyan of tshuva, right? Of tshuva. There's different high levels you want to access. You want to access the Zohar. I guess also in Shemos probably, although I didn't see it yet this year. But the Zohar, if I remember right, says Ehekeh Asher Ehekeh. Ehekeh is Bina. And Ehekeh Asher Ehekeh is Keser, to put it like in a simple level, right? Bina is usually Bina Liba, the Zohar says. It's an aspect of tshuva. And we'll see a lot more about Bina in the Shabbos Gevuras Hashem. And the B'siyat Rishmaya. And then Keser is Ratzon. It's what you really want. It's where you're really holding. So you want to access these very high levels that enable you to get to a place of tshuva. So what this Ehekeh means, the Zohar says, the Zohar says, Anazam Meheve, I'm preparing to actualize who I am, to be who I'm supposed to be. And we have to be zocheh to actualization. One of the best ways to be zocheh to actualization is unfortunately humiliation. A person he feels humiliated and says, "Wow, I'm very embarrassed. I'm not getting anything done. I'm not making things happen the way they should happen. I'm not doing what I should do." So that's one of the best ways of moving forward. Like saying, "Hey, this has to happen," and making it happen. B'siyat Rishmaya. So that's one of the. It's not only from other people also. Like the Ramak says. The Shalom Kodesh is also the same idea. It brings this idea that embarrassment is the best thing. This is the best thing in the world, embarrassment, because you can't. The Shalom is like delicacy. It's like the best things in the world. He said, a person he atones for all his averos. She doesn't lose money, doesn't lose health, doesn't chashav. Nobody, no tragedy, nothing, no problem. Say it isn't. Everything's fine. It's a pretty amazing thing. That's an amazing thing. That's that's not what Rav Tzaddok points out. It doesn't have to be necessarily from somebody on the externally. You can yourself say, "Wow, I can't believe I'm just not getting it together. I'm actualizing. When you really feel that, you make that happen. You wake that up. So something very powerful. Right, like I said in the parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu, he saw what was going on with the Jewish people. So Rashi said, what he didn't see until now. He said, no, he saw and he wanted to actually, make it like he paid attention. He didn't see. They saw and wow, they're really suffering, Jewish people. You have to see and you have to understand. So fine, okay. So that's the first thing. So that's a simple level. Let's see what the Komarna says. The Komarna explains. He says, after Golus Mitzrayim, they said, Zeh Keli v'anveyo l'kei v'yoraminu, right? This is my God, I will adorn him, the God of my fathers, and I will exalt him, right? Targum says, and I will build a mikdash for him. Okay, so the command in his usual way, he says, who builds a mikdash for Hashem? He said, every man and wife builds a mikdash for Hashem, like the Gemara says. Zeh Keli v'anveyo is also building a mikdash, means every person is supposed to build a mikdash because Isha has a yud in the name. And Isha has a He in her name, right? And it's Yud and then K. If they don't have a Yud K, if you don't have a connection to spirituality in your life, usually, unfortunately, you can access something called Beish, and it can be very, very bad. A person can have terrible machlokes and bad things happening. No, that's not a good matzav, not what you want. You want to be in a good place, you want to be in a peaceful, happy place. Fine. So that's the Bechina, right? Ish and Isha said Yud K. Right? He said that's the Ish and Isha, that Shechina is with them, like the Imam Sota says. He said, Azibazim, that's what it says, Azibazim is ka. Azibazim is ka. Right? My strength and my song, ka, Yud K, which is again, Ish and Isha, this shame of right, this Bechin's Inyan. Right? To the shame, ka, which with them Kivyachol, then by Hili Yeshua. That brings the Yeshua, that a person has harmony and goodness the way, especially in a house, the way it should be. That is one of the biggest things a person can do. That's why you have to be very careful. very careful as much as possible not to do anything to disrupt harmony in the home. It's very important. That's why, the Gemara says in Gevuras that that a person cannot live with a snake in one basket, meaning if the husband or the wife is impossible, they're being impossible, so they're impossible. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about it. You have to just divorce them. Right? So the author of Kelm says, yeah, but why not? Why can't you dwell with somebody who is being snakish and impossible? Because you're a snake. Because you have this part of you also, and you're not going to tolerate it. But if you can, wait, again, sometimes this doesn't work so well, but if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. There's a reason. Rav Chaim's son told him, he said, you don't need any divorce. I think divorce usually is only the halacha when you're mechuyev, because usually you can work it out. So many cases where it looked like divorce, and everything worked out. So the Rav Chaim said that can't be true. He said, because otherwise halachically you would not be allowed to divorce, except when you're obligated. He said, the fact that you're allowed to divorce means sometimes it's no longer workable. Maybe it was workable. It doesn't matter. Now it's over. You just can't do anything about it. Even though halachically you're not obligated. Because there's halachah divorce. You have to divorce. There's such a thing. But we have to understand that one of the biggest things you could do in the world is to have a harmonious home. It's a very, very huge thing. It's a very big or. It's a very big opportunity for tremendous things. That's why the Ramak says the person for sure is not shalom, he's not complete without being married. And of course, this doesn't mean that any married person is higher than any bacher. You have the bacher in the mirror, the best bacher in the mirror, who's learned Shas 50 times with his wife, and he's really, let's say he has dvekas, let's say that's true, I don't know who the person might be, but let's say he's really connected and he's so high, and you have this very simple laborer who's married and married happily, it's a very simple guy, not necessarily this one higher than the other one. He said, but his shlemus, every person according to his own self, who he is, real completion, what person will get when he gets married. Because when you have das acher is tolerable, when you have someone else who also has a day, and also you have to kind of find a way that's going to be peaceful and workable. So it's very, very hard to stay selfish. It doesn't work so well, especially with kids, but even without, it's you can't stay quite so selfish. You have to think of someone else, you have to be with someone else. It's not all about yourself. So that's on the simple level. On a higher level, you access very, very high, big and yonim and everything that a person does. She's the repository of the Shechina. When they have to be separate, that's what brings the Shechina to the house also. They stay. So big things. So fine, very good. I said the geulah also through this kedusha, that a person, the Jewish people, we have to stay faithful and remain Jewish. He said that at the very least is an absolute prerequisite for geulah. You can't be geulah if a person, the children become goyim. Hashem is not going to help anyone. That's the Komarna's Maharal. And I guess I'll just one more Maharal I just have to add on, which is the Maharal says that brings the MIdrash. The MIdrash says that the snare. Why did Hashem megala to Moshe Rabbeinu in Dafkin the burning bush? So a bush is a very lowly thing. So there's two Malach in the MIdrash. The one that always made a double impression on me is because Hashem is everywhere. Hashem is in the lowest place, but Hashem, you can always find Hashem. You're saying the Shekhinah reveals itself even in this lowly bush everywhere. That's what the Maharal brings this MIdrash. He makes it very clear that that's the Maharal, that's the Pshat in the MIdrash. And it's a very beautiful thing too, as the Shekhinah is everywhere. You can always, no matter what. So from the beginning, there's no despair no matter what. No matter what you go through, no matter what life is thrown at you, you never give up. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. We don't understand it all, we have no clue, but we have to do everything we can to connect to Hashem and to realize that there's the geulah, but there's also a geulah. And Zeh the geulah hanefesh, the geulah hanefesh, the person himself, there's a way out of this. There's a way to bring geulah. And we're going to be Zohar. We just have to be strong and stay with Hashem every instant, every second, and whatever way we can, and do the best we can, and He's going to send the geulah.